Max Verstappen could be preparing to leave Red Bull, but the shocking truth is not a secret contract, a bigger salary, or one disastrous race. 3 warning signs are now impossible to ignore. Adrian Newey is no longer part of Red Bull's technical future. Gianpiero Lambiase has become one of the most important reasons for Verstappen to stay. And Verstappen's own exit timeline has turned every decision inside the team into a countdown. There is still no confirmed departure, but Red Bull is facing something far more dangerous than a rival offer. Its champion may be losing faith in the people, stability, and winning structure that once made leaving unthinkable. And when the final clue is revealed, the real reason behind Verstappen's possible exit becomes impossible to dismiss. Subscribe to the channel. For years, Max Verstappen and Red Bull looked impossible to separate. Red Bull gave Verstappen the car, the opportunity, and the platform to become a world champion. Verstappen gave Red Bull victories, championships, and the kind of dominance that made the rest of Formula One look powerless. From the outside, the partnership looked permanent. But here is what most people miss. The strongest Formula One relationships rarely collapse in one dramatic moment. They weaken slowly. One trusted figure leaves. One technical decision creates doubt. One internal change makes the future feel less certain. Then another problem appears. And before anyone outside the team fully understands what is happening, the driver at the center of everything begins asking a question he never needed to ask before. Is this still the best place for me? That is the real pressure surrounding Verstappen. There is no confirmed announcement that he has officially left Red Bull. There is no verified statement proving that he has signed for another team. There is no public departure date. But the same warning signs continue appearing. Adrian Newey's absence from Red Bull's future. Gianpiero Lambiase's importance to Verstappen. And the growing attention around Verstappen's own timeline. Those are not 3 separate stories. They are 3 parts of the same problem. Trust. Not trust in one race. Not trust in one upgrade. Trust in the entire Red Bull system. Because a Formula One driver does not win alone. The person inside the car receives the trophy, but every lap depends on hundreds of decisions made outside it. Engineers prepare the car. Strategists decide when to stop. Mechanics react under pressure. Technical leaders decide which problems must be solved first. And the race engineer becomes the voice connecting the driver to all of them. That is why Gianpiero Lambiase matters so much. To a casual viewer, a race engineer may sound like someone who simply gives information over the radio. But for Verstappen, Lambiase is much more than that. He is the voice Verstappen hears when the tires begin losing performance. He is the person delivering strategy changes. He explains the gap to the car ahead. He warns about the driver behind. And when frustration rises, he must choose the exact words that help Verstappen remain focused. That relationship is built over years. Not days. Not weeks. Years. A new engineer can understand the data. But understanding the driver is different. It means knowing when Verstappen needs more information. It means knowing when one short sentence is enough. It means recognizing whether his frustration is temporary, or whether something deeper is wrong with the car. It means knowing how to communicate when the entire race is changing in seconds. Imagine running through a crowded building with someone speaking into your ear. You cannot stop. You cannot ask for a long explanation. You must trust that the person guiding you understands where the danger is. Now imagine doing that at extreme speed, with a championship depending on every decision. That is the level of trust between a driver and a race engineer. And this is where the first real warning appears. Red Bull's effort to keep Lambiase closely involved does not look like a small staffing decision. It looks like protection. Protection for one of the strongest personal links between Verstappen and the team. Because Red Bull understands something important. Verstappen's loyalty is not protected by a contract alone. It is protected by the environment around him. The people he trusts. The car he understands. The leaders he believes in. The feeling that the team remains stable. And when a team starts working hard to protect those conditions, it usually means those conditions no longer feel guaranteed. That does not prove Verstappen is leaving. But it proves Red Bull knows exactly what could push him away. And Lambiase is only the beginning. The next warning reaches much deeper. Because it involves the person who helped shape the technical identity Verstappen trusted every time he pushed the car to the limit. And that person is Adrian Newey. For years, Newey's influence was woven into Red Bull's success. He was not the only person designing the car. Formula One machines are never created by one individual. They come from hundreds of engineers, aerodynamicists, mechanics, analysts, and technical leaders working together. But certain people shape the way an entire team thinks. They influence which problems receive attention. They influence which risks feel worth taking. They influence whether the team reacts with confidence or hesitation. And for Verstappen, that matters more than almost anything else. A driver does not only judge the car he has today. He judges the car the team can build tomorrow. Because Formula One never stands still. Rivals improve. Rules change. Weaknesses appear. A dominant car can become vulnerable faster than anyone expects. And once that happens, past success offers no protection. That is why Newey's departure matters. The real question is not whether Red Bull can replace one name on an organization chart. The real question is whether Red Bull can preserve the judgment, experience, and technical instinct that helped make the team so effective. A job title can be replaced. A department can be reorganized. A new engineer can be hired. But years of instinct cannot be transferred overnight. Imagine a master chef leaving a famous restaurant. The kitchen remains. The recipes remain. The ingredients remain. The rest of the staff may still be brilliant. But the person who understood exactly when to change the temperature, when to ignore the usual method, and when to trust experience is gone. The restaurant may remain successful. It may even improve. But nobody knows until the next meal is served. That is the uncertainty Verstappen must now consider. Can Red Bull continue building cars that suit him? Can the technical group react when the rules change? Can the team solve weaknesses before its rivals turn them into permanent disadvantages? Can the organization remain calm when the pressure increases? And most importantly, can Red Bull still make Verstappen believe the future is under control? That last question is where the danger becomes much greater. Because Adrian Newey is now connected with Aston Martin. That does not prove Verstappen is following him. It does not confirm a secret agreement. It does not mean Aston Martin has already convinced Verstappen to leave. But it creates a possibility Red Bull cannot ignore. A rival team may be building its future around one of the most influential technical minds associated with Red Bull's greatest era. And for Verstappen, that changes the comparison. He would not simply be looking at an unfamiliar project. He could be looking at a new environment that contains part of the technical thinking he already respects. That reduces one kind of uncertainty. And when a driver is deciding whether to leave the most successful partnership of his career, reducing uncertainty matters. Aston Martin does not need to prove it is better than Red Bull today. It only needs to convince Verstappen that it could become better tomorrow. That is a much more dangerous argument. Red Bull can point toward championships. It can point toward victories. It can point toward the years when the team appeared completely dominant. But those achievements belong to the past. A driver choosing his future must look forward. He must ask which team will understand the next generation of cars. Which team will respond fastest when the competition changes? Which team will remain stable when expectations become overwhelming? And which team will still have the right people in place when the championship is decided? That is where loyalty becomes complicated. Verstappen can respect everything Red Bull has given him. He can feel grateful. He can value the people around him. And he can still question whether the team remains the strongest place for the next stage of his career. Those feelings can exist together. Gratitude does not remove risk. Success does not remove doubt. And history does not guarantee another title. Think of it like choosing between two roads. One road is familiar. You know every corner. You know where it becomes difficult. You know it has already taken you somewhere extraordinary. The other road is less familiar. But new signs suggest it may be leading toward the future you now want. Neither road offers a guarantee. Staying carries risk. Leaving carries risk. Waiting carries risk too. And that is why Verstappen's possible exit timeline matters so much. An exit timeline does not necessarily mean he has already selected a departure date. It may mean he is watching for a condition to change. Perhaps he stays while Red Bull remains competitive. Perhaps he stays while the technical direction feels convincing. Perhaps he stays while the people he trusts remain close. Perhaps he stays while the team continues proving that its future is stronger than the rumors surrounding it. But every condition has a limit. At some point, waiting can become more dangerous than moving. A Formula One driver may have many seasons in the sport. But the number of seasons spent at the absolute peak is limited. One failed technical cycle can cost years. One badly timed decision can remove championship opportunities. One season of patience can become 2, then 3. And suddenly, a driver realizes loyalty has taken more time than expected. That is why Verstappen cannot judge Red Bull only by what it once achieved. He must judge what it is becoming. And every major departure forces another question. Can the replacement deliver the same confidence? Can the team remain united? Can it continue improving? Can it still build everything around winning? These questions are not answered in press conferences. They are answered on the track. Through development. Through strategy. Through the way the car behaves when the pressure rises. Through through the way the team responds when something goes wrong. And Verstappen will notice everything. He will notice whether technical problems are solved quickly. He will notice whether new leadership creates clarity. He will notice whether the team protects the relationships that matter most. He will notice whether Red Bull reacts with control or fear. That may be the most revealing part of all. Verstappen is not only watching lap times. He is watching behavior. Every decision becomes evidence. Every race becomes part of the argument. Red Bull is effectively telling him one thing. Stay here. The system still works. The future remains strong. The people around you still know how to win. Aston Martin may be building the opposite argument. Come here. The next era is beginning. The project is growing. The technical vision is changing. And the future may belong to the team willing to build everything around you. That is why this is no longer a simple transfer rumor. It is a battle between certainty and possibility. Red Bull offers familiarity, history, and proven success. Aston Martin may offer renewal, ambition, and a different future. But Verstappen still holds one option that makes both teams nervous. He may decide that neither project is worth the sacrifice. And that is where the story becomes even more alarming. And that option is walking away from Formula One completely. Most people frame Verstappen's future as a battle between Red Bull and Aston Martin. Stay with the team that made him a champion. Or join the rival project trying to build the next great era. But Verstappen does not have to choose either. He can leave. And that possibility gives him more control than any contract, salary, or technical promise ever could. A driver who desperately needs another seat can be pressured. A driver who believes Formula One is the only place where his career has meaning must choose from the teams willing to take him. But a driver who is genuinely prepared to stop does not negotiate from fear. He negotiates from freedom. That is what makes Verstappen's position so unusual. He has already achieved what most drivers never will. He has won world championships. He has dominated races. He has survived the pressure of becoming the driver every rival wants to defeat. He has experienced the highest level of success Formula One can offer. So the question is no longer whether Verstappen can prove himself. He already has. The question is whether he still wants everything that comes with proving it again. That sounds like a small difference. It is not. For a young driver trying to reach the top, every sacrifice can feel necessary. The travel, the pressure, the criticism, the endless media attention, the constant expectation to perform. All of it can be accepted because the dream still feels far away. But for a champion who has already reached the summit, the calculation changes. Now the question becomes more personal. Is the next championship worth the cost? And that may be more dangerous for Red Bull than any rival offer. Money cannot answer that question. A longer contract cannot answer it. Even a faster car may not answer it. Because the real cost of Formula One exists far beyond the racetrack. Every radio message is analyzed. Every facial expression becomes a headline. Every difficult weekend produces rumors. Every honest answer about the future is treated like evidence. If Verstappen sounds frustrated, people say he is leaving. If he sounds calm, people say he is hiding something. If he praises Red Bull, it becomes a loyalty statement. If he mentions another team, it becomes a transfer signal. That pressure never fully disappears. And over time, even the most successful career can begin to feel like a life controlled by other people's expectations. Imagine knowing that every sentence you speak could be used to create a story you never intended. You cannot simply be tired. You cannot simply be disappointed. You cannot simply answer one question without people searching for a second meaning. Eventually, the noise becomes part of the job. And Verstappen has never appeared interested in allowing Formula One to define every part of who he is. He loves racing. But loving racing does not mean loving everything surrounding it. That distinction matters. There is a difference between enjoying the fight inside the car and enjoying the enormous system built around that fight. The interviews, the political tension, the constant travel, the repeated questions, the pressure to remain available, the expectation that a champion must always want more. One more win, one more title, one more record, one more season. From the outside, that sounds like ambition. From the inside, it can become a trap. Because the target always moves. A championship is won, and attention immediately shifts toward the next one. A record is broken, and people ask which record comes after it. A dominant season ends, and the first question is whether the driver can do it again. Success never creates a final moment of peace. It only creates a new standard. And that can force Verstappen to ask something no team can answer for him.